the Yarn Randomizer, and this is where I'm going to show you how I do my 3-needle bind off for the emotional support chicken. Now, I've tried to set some boundaries on my recording so I can make sure I keep this thing mostly in the center. But right now I've got the 2 tail sections that I've knitted. I made each of them a row longer than what was called for in the pattern, since they normally call for you to cast off and then sew them together. So I thought I'd go ahead and add an extra row. And now what I'm going to do is do a 3-needle bind off with these 2 sets of live stitches here, but I'm not going to do the standard 3-needle bind off where you go knitways through both of these. I'm going to go knitways through the front one, but then purlways through the second one. And part of the way to do this is to actually keep the yarn that you're going to use in between the 2 layers of the knitting here. So, and now this is going to be a little clunky, particularly at first, so bear with me. But yeah, so I'm going to go through the front knitways, and then this back stitch purlways. Now I'm going to wrap this here. Now, one of the things I want to say is I just bring the stitch through the first part of it and then worry about bringing it through. And again, for initially this is a little awkward, the second part, and then slide those 2 stitches off. Off to an auspicious start here. And I will continue, and again, keep this one between the 2 layers. So I'm going in knitways here, purlways here. I'm going to wrap, pull it through, and then pull it through this one. And then I'm going to cast off that first stitch. And again, things are a little loosey-goosey here at the start. All right, next one, knitways, and then oops, and I got to make sure I got my yarn in the right spot. Purlways, wrap it, pull it through, slip those off, and pull that over. And again, I got to make sure I keep that strand in there. Knitways, purlways, bring it through, slip those off, cast off. All right, get this a little closer to the end, bring this in between the layers. Knit 1, purl 1. I'm finding with all this here, I'm finding wrapping my purl being a little more challenging than usual. Okay, there. Cast off. Let's see if I can tip it a little more this way. And again, make sure it's in between knitways, purlways, form the purl, then the knit, slide it off, cast off. All right, let's get this a little further. For some reason I keep pulling it outside. I've done some regular 3-needle bind-offs recently, and I can't help but think that that's what keeps me pulling the strand between the layers. All right. Oops, didn't pull it through, but it's not the end of the world. There we go. All right, knitways, purlways, slide them off, knitways, purlways, and it's feeling a little smoother now. Knitways, purlways. All right. Let's bring this, make sure this is between. I won't say this is the smoothest thing to do, but I really like the result on the tail, and we'll get a look at that here at the end. All right, knitways. There we go. Purlways. Bring it on through. Yeah. Yeah, I've done this on both of my previous chickens, and I do like the result. I think it looks good in the contrasting color on here. This chicken is going to be a somewhat scrappy, emotional support chicken. All right, let's see what we got left. Not that much left to go. Come back over here. So yeah, usually I think what I'm going to do here is I made the tail one color and I'm going to make the body another color. And I'll just use up all these different purples and greens that I have here. All right. There. I'm kind of getting into the groove here a bit. Again, this is not lightning speed. Now through knitways, purlways. I think just two more, okay. Knitways, purlways. All right, one more. All right, knitways. I feel like this last one's going to be, get that back there, a little more awkward. There we go, knitways, purlways. This thing, stitch is loosening up on me. There, pull it on through. Oops, there goes the needle. Do a quick bind off. Yep. There, I'm gonna snug up these two stitches here a little bit. There we go. And I'll just pull this one through. A little bit of extra yarn there. I'm going to figure out what I want to do up here at the top afterwards. It would normally be cut a little shorter. All right. And that is that. And you'll notice it looks, I think, sometimes a little longer on one side, but once you spread this out, I think it looks pretty good. And then fold it in half. You'll see it produces a nice smooth chain at the top of the tail. And what's really cool is you can see, okay, you formed it knitways here. And on the other side, you can actually see those other stitches overlapped on the top of the stitches you were knitting, working purlways. And so I don't think it's completely symmetrical, but really good enough. And so I really like the way this finishes it up. So I hope this has been helpful to folks trying to find kind of an alternative way to pull together their emotional support chickens. And I think let me know if you have any other questions. And in the meantime, enjoy your knits.